What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. Thank you very much for stopping by. It's a beautiful evening. I feel great. It's awesome. I appreciate you very much. If you're not subscribed yet, I suggest you do so. We're certainly going to like each other, no doubt about it. Julius Malema of South Africa. Have you heard of Julius Malema? Julius Malema. If you haven't, I suggest you have a look at him. Julius Malema. Very interesting human being, very strong in his stance, Pan-Africanist, the new type of leadership that many African countries, I think, would be inspired by. Julius Malema has made a speech that's very, very interesting, and I want us to watch it. But before I start, I want to tell you that Julius is somebody that wants to unite Africans. He firmly believes that borders don't mean anything. Borders was a creation of Europeans. And after creating borders in Africa, they eradicated borders between themselves. Let's listen. Let's go.
There's no South Africa in Nkosi Sikelel that we see. There's Africa. Because there is no place called South Africa. South Africa is a geographical concept which seeks to give you direction. It's not a name of a place. We are in Africa. So once you say Africa, you don't have to add anything before. You have covered everything, including this side of the south of Africa. Because we're an international organization. That's why the logo of the EFF has got no South African map. It has got African map. Because we're an organization that wants to unify the whole of Africa, have one currency, have one parliament, have one president, and have one military.
Okay, so you heard what he just said. The EFF is his political party, I'm sorry about that. Julius Malema first started at the ANC. Okay, the ANC is the political party of Nelson Mandela. Remember, the great man from South Africa. Yes, Julius Malema started in ANC. He was groomed by Mama Winnie Mandela. Very strong figure. After a while, he wasn't very happy with what's happened with the ANC. I think he was basically kicked out of the ANC for certain things. He went and created his own political party, the EFF. Now, they stand for Africa unity. They want to fight for Africans. They firmly believe that Europeans came to Africa to try to force people into being divided, creating countries that never existed in the past. Yeah, by creating countries and tracing borders that never existed in the past. You don't know that. Yes, in 1884 was when they created countries in Africa. Before that, there was no such thing as a country in Africa. Africa was a continent. Yes, the continent existed. Yes, people were there. There were tribes, there were clans, there were families. There was no country. Country is a European context and concept. They came to Africa and started dividing countries, dividing space into countries. It was for their own purpose. It's because Europeans came together in Berlin trying to discuss on, listen, we are going to Africa. We don't want to go fight over land in Africa. Therefore, let's sit down and share, like a pizza, Africa to our people, the Europeans. So the Germans took some land, the British took some land, the French took some land, the English took some land, etc. Then they came and called them countries. And it's because of that today you will see in one country, people of the same tribe in two sides of the country. So people of the same tribe, same language in two different countries. It's because they are the same people in reality. So Malema is fighting that. He's trying to remind people that we are one people. Africa is one people. And don't be afraid that people from a different space will come into your country if we remove the borders. Because his goal is to have an African with no border at all. Let's go.
Command. Because the reason we're fragmented like this and we're defeated is because the enemy enjoys and thrives when we're divided. They say to you, He says, remove borders. Why is he saying remove borders? He wants these people to come here. He wants these people to come here. There are no borders in Europe. The people who said to you, why do you want to remove borders? They don't have borders themselves. And we have not seen, because of borderless Europe, we have not seen the people of Italy moving to Britain.
Very interesting. Because of borderless Europe, we have not seen people of Italy moving to Britain. Why does he say that? Because Italy, compared to Great Britain, is a relatively poor country. Okay, so if Italians were all about better life, they would have left Italy going to live in London, right? They haven't done that, even though they need no visa or need no much restriction to go to Britain. He said there's no border between European countries, but you have not seen Italians leave Italy, go to Britain. Why does he say that? Because, well, many people believe because their country is more advanced than other countries, by opening borders in Africa, it will push other Africans from different countries to come into the country and stay and live. That is something that we see quite a lot in South Africa. Not all, but many South Africans believe that by opening borders, many Zimbabweans, okay, and many other nations, maybe Nigerians, will come and storm into South Africa looking for better life. And Malema doesn't believe that. Malema believes it's not truth. It's a lie. In fact, there are ways for Zimbabweans to come into South Africa. But Zimbabwe is still populated. Why aren't all Zimbabweans in South Africa? Malema says. Listen to this.
Because the pound is stronger, let's go to Britain than the euro. No. They've always stayed where they are. But they can eat breakfast in Italy and have lunch in Britain and have dinner in Spain without any hassle. Why? They are one people. They are enjoying each other. They embrace one another. But we must not do that. Once we do that, Malema says people must come here. They are going to take your jobs and all of that. Why are you allowing that? This Malema must be stopped. It's not true.
Okay. Why does he say that? Because, in fact, Julius Malema, very strangely, is one of those politicians that said something, very hard. He once said, I am up for accepting Africans in South Africa. I want Africans. If you don't want Africans in Africa, if you don't want Africans in South Africa, then you should keep your vote for yourself. If you're going to be upset with me because I'm embracing my African brothers, then you know what? Don't vote for me. That's very challenging. I mean, many politicians are liars. They just want to say whatever they can say so they can get along and with you and get your vote and become powerful, be the president. Well, this man doesn't care about that. He says, if you do not like foreigners, don't vote for me. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Inkosi Tembe is an inkosi of the Tembe family, both here in KwaZulu-Natal and in Mozambique. They never said, yo, inkosi yetu ise Natal. Say sihamba manje. We're no longer staying in Mozambique. No, they're staying in Mozambique. So it's not true that once you say there is no border, there is no border in the Tembe nation. They are one thing. But those who are in Mozambique, they stayed there. Those who are in South Africa, they stay here.
So the Tembe people, as per Mr. Malema, are in both Mozambique and South Africa. Please put the map. Mozambique and South Africa. The same people around there. So he's saying the people of Tembe in Mozambique, they never say we're going to our chief in South Africa. They stay in Mozambique. And those of South Africa stay in South Africa, even though they have ability to come and cross. So it's not because you once decide to remove the borders, then all of these people from Tembe in Mozambique will move into South Africa.
In Lesotho, there is no fence between Free State and Lesotho.
Put a map of Lesotho. Lesotho is in South Africa, within South Africa.
The people of Lesotho, what is the day today? Sunday. Shem, they are in Free State now as we speak. Pools.
So he says the people of Lesotho on Sunday will leave Lesotho, go into Free State. Free State is a province in South Africa. So they leave Lesotho, go to Free State to drink, okay, to have beer. Then afterward, return.
6. What's Opinda? Go back to Lesotho. There's no problem. They are together. They are one thing. So why didn't they move from Lesotho into Free State before even Malema existed and the EFF existed? Because there's never been a fence. There's no fence. Mashaba showed you. He went to Limpopo and said, yeah, look, there's no fence here between Zimbabwe and Limpopo. But when you go into Zimbabwe, there are still people there in Zimbabwe. They are staying there. Yet Mashaba confirmed there is no fence. And without fence, these people are going to come here. Malema says they must come here. There is no fence. Why are they not coming now? There is no fence. I said to you, mark that, we are led by fools. Because there is no fence, but there is a gate. We are led by fools.
So Mr. Malema is explaining here the situation between South Africa and Zimbabwe. There is no fence. There's supposed to be a fence separating Zimbabwe and South Africa to prevent people from Zimbabwe from crossing into South Africa, because Zimbabwe obviously is going through a very tough economical situation due to sanctions and stuff like that. So they built fence across the border to prevent Zimbabweans from crossing. So even though Zimbabweans do cross, okay, Malema says there is no fence. So why are there still people in Zimbabwe if you believe all Zimbabweans want to come here? And he says there is no fence, but there is a gate. There is no fence, but it's a gate. Crazy.
There's no fence, but there's a gate. When you go home today, you arrive at your home from this meeting, you just find the fence is gone. Only the gate is standing alone like this. And then, what do? Without fence, you still open the gate to... Hey, we're in a state of madness. Why, if these borders mean nothing, why are they opposed to them? They are threatened by African unity. Because the unity of African people will mean they are equal to China, they are equal to India, they are equal to Russia, they are equal to Britain. How can Swaziland tell Britain anything with that size of a population? They won't listen to them. But once we come together, we are billions of people who can confront the status quo globally. So, don't listen to the nonsense that says, these people are going to come here, they are going to take our jobs and all of that. Anyway, these people have been here.
Very interesting, fellas. Very, very interesting. Again, the concept here for Julius Malema is to create an Africa with no border. An Africa where Africans can come across, can go visit each other, can get to know one another. Africa where Africans can invest into different countries, can develop, can bring their skills. Africa where people will be together, meaning one army for Africa, federation, one government to rule, Africans. That will one political, mentality in a way that we can help the all of Africa develop. If Africa comes together as one country, we become stronger than the rest of the world. It's very easy to combat and oppress us if we are small countries. I mean, look at your country like Benin. What is the country like Benin can say in front of China or Russia or United States of America? Absolutely nothing. You have not the means. You do not have the means. But if Benin comes together with Togo and Mali and Nigeria and Niger and Central Africa and Congo, and then that's become something completely different. Malema believes in that. Many people, unfortunately, for various reasons, do not support the idea of opening an Africa opening doors to everybody, allowing people to exchange. And in this very case, he was also pinpointing at some South African fellas that believe that if South Africa opens borders, it's going to allow many other Africans to come and rush into South Africa. Let me just give you context for you. Why do Africans come to South Africa? A lot of Africans come to South Africa for development. A lot of Africans come to South Africa because of white people. I'm going to be honest with you. Yes. Had there been no white people in South Africa, many Africans will not come to South Africa. They wouldn't. They will stay home. So they feel like white people in South Africa bring development. They've created the banks, they've built the roads, they've created the boats, the trains, the infrastructure that, they've created structures that function. They believe that it's because of the white that South Africa is advanced. Are they right? Well, we don't know. I mean, look at the rest of Africa. Let's ask each other real questions. Look at the rest of Africa compared to South Africa. What's the difference? The difference is clear. In South Africa, white people came to stay. In your country, Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, white people came to steal and go. Yeah, they came to take your gold, your diamond, your minerals, your timber and leave. In South Africa, they came to build road and battlement and buildings and hospitals. And why? Because they came to stay. They left Holland and France and Germany and England to come to South Africa to come and stay because they firmly believe that's their land. That's the new land. Therefore, creating infrastructure for the longer run, as opposed to the rest of Africa where they needed only a road from the mines to the sea so they can steal fast. The rest of the road were built by the people. So many people who come to South Africa, it's because they feel like there is some sort of a development prone by the white people, they believe. Many South Africans, especially those who do not have a lot of opportunities, feel like when Africans come to South Africa, they come to steal the jobs. They come to work as security guards. They come to work in shops. They come to work in retail, selling fruit. They feel like they should be doing those type of jobs. And it's a very interesting view. Very, very interesting view. But there was a video where Malema was saying, he was talking to South Africans. He said, you kicked out the foreigners off Tembisa because they were selling onions and tomatoes and potatoes. You kicked them off. You say they must leave. But up until now, it's been months. None of you has been selling onions and tomatoes and stuff like that. So again, Africans must remember, like he says, we are one people. Okay. And again, we're not encouraging criminals to cross other countries to go do crime or to go do illegal stuff. Even if Africa opens the door, it should be an Africa where there's respect of other people's culture. It should be an Africa of order. Thank you very much, fellas. Let me know how you feel about this. I think it's a very interesting conversation to have. Should Africa open its borders to the people of Africa? Should Africa have one army for the people to protect? Should Africa have one voice, one people, so we can talk, against the world, so we can represent ourselves properly? God bless.